Hi everybody, let's get crafting. Today I have a coaster pattern and it's a peppermint. It's a fancy peppermint. This is the pattern I'm going to show you how to make today, and it's double-sided, and this is the border. So let's get started. I'm using Premier Home Cotton, which has 131 yards or 120 meters, and it's 2.65 ounces. It's 85% recycled cotton and 15% polyester. I'm using the color white and the color cranberry. So we're going to start out with the color cranberry. And this actually is a round granny square, but I guess you can't really call it a square. It's a round granny. I think they call these mandalas or something like that sometimes. So what you want to do is put a slip knot, chain 4. I'm using an H hook from Clover. You want to slip stitch into the 4th chain from the hook, and then chain 2. And now we're going to work 11 double crochets into the ring. All right, one more. Now we're going to slip stitch into the top of the chain 2, and that's round 1. And we're going to cut the yarn and tie it off. Now we're going to take the white. We're going to switch colors. We're going to take the white. We're going to join in a space in between the single crochets anywhere. And chain 2. And then we're going to double crochet 1 in the same space. And now in each space between the double crochets, we're going to chain 2. Not in the top, but in the middle, under it, in between. And by the end, we should have 24 double crochets in this round. And I'm working in my tail as I go. My tail's getting in my way. Let's move it. There we go. All right, now we are going to slip stitch in the second chain from the hook, or the second chain of the starting chain, slip stitch, and there's what we got. Pull that closed, and we will tie this off, cut it off, and we'll tie it in later, but we'll fasten off. There we go. Now we're going to switch back to the red color, the cranberry. We're going to attach it in between, in a space in between the two double crochets. So right there. Just pull up a loop. Make sure you leave yourself a little tail on chain 2. And now we are going to do a regular granny cluster of 3. But in the first stitch we already have the chain 2, so that counts as the first double crochet, so it'd be 3 double crochets in between the 2 double crochets in the white. So we want to go right here in between, so we do 3 double crochets. I know in my last video I said I was going to do finish up the baby afghan, but I really wanted to do this peppermint. So next week I will finish up the baby afghan. All right, so we don't have to be too picky on how we finish our ends off on the back, because it's going to be covered up, because we're going to make 2 of these and then put a border to attach them together. Now you could certainly leave it with 1 if you liked. And just keep going and keep putting 3 double crochets in between the 2 white double crochets. You could make this in any color. Matter of fact, you could change colors every round and have multiple colors. There are 5 rounds that I'm going to be completing here before we do the border. This really doesn't take up that much yarn. Okay, now we're going to slip stitch in the top of the chain 2 space right there and pull it through and fasten off. All right, that's what we have now. Now we're going to get the white again. And we're going to start out with I'll just put it anywhere. I like to go away from where I stopped a little bit. We're going to go in between the 3 double crochet granny clusters. All right. Now we'll chain 2. I always like to chain 2 instead of 3. And we're going to put 3 double crochets in the first stitch. Which actually equals 4 single crochets. All right, and now we're going to put 3 double crochets into the next space. In the next space between the 3 double crochets, we're going to put 4 double crochets. We're going to repeat that around. We're going to do 3 double crochets and then 4. So now we're doing the 3. The next space we're going to do 4 double crochets. Now we're going to put 3 in the next space, 3 double crochets. Now 4 double crochets in the next space. Now Now 3 double crochets, next space. There is no chain 1 in between them, none of them. Now 4 double crochets, now 3 double crochets, now 4 double crochets in the next space, and 3 double crochets in the last space. We want to end with the opposite of what we started with. All right, now in the chain 2 space, we're going to slip stitch and fasten off. That's that. There, the circle keeps growing. Now we're going back to the red. Get some yarn going here. We're going to start anywhere in the circle, and we're going to, let's just start right here between a 4 and a 3, anywhere you want in between a 4 and a 3. Chain 2. Now we're going to 2 double crochet in that same space, which gives us 3 double crochets. And we're going to, in the next space, 3 double crochets. And, oh, looks like I messed it up. Let's start over. All right, got that fixed. And I went ahead and finished off my ends that I started. So now we're going to, in between the 4 granny cluster, we're going to insert our hook in the center. So there'll be 2 on this side and 2 on this side. And we're going to pull up a loop, chain 2, and make 2 double crochets in the same stitch. Yeah, I advise counting before you cut your yarn. That's always a plus. Okay, now we're going to do 3 double crochets in the next space, and 3 double crochets in the next space. And now we're to the 4 cluster, so we're going to 3 double crochets in the center of that cluster. Three double crochets, and then 3 double crochets between the 2 clusters. and single crochet between the two clusters. And now we're to the 4 cluster. We want to double crochet 3 double crochets in the middle of that cluster, the 4 cluster. I will have a written pattern for you in the description below, and a bonus pattern, which I'll show you that one at the end of this video. And we're doing 3 double crochets in the next space between the clusters, and 3 double crochets between the next space in the clusters. Now we're back to the 4, so we want to go in the middle and make 3 double crochets. And 3 double crochets in the next space. And 3 double crochets in the next space. Pull that through. And 3 double crochets in the next space. And this time we will not fasten off. Whoops. Just about messed up again. Here we go. Missed the 4. Okay. Just make that stitch again. Trying to think ahead, you guys. There we go. 3 double crochets in the middle of the 4 granny cluster, and 3 double crochets in the next space. Three double crochets in the next space. Now we're to the 4 cluster, and we want to do 3 double crochets in the middle of that cluster. Now 3 double crochets in the next space. And 3 double crochets in the next space. All right. Now we need to slip stitch in the top of the chain 2, beginning chain. All right, now we're to the point where we're going to do this border all the way around. But first, we're going to take our other, you need to make 2. We're going to put them together. So I'm going to slip stitch into that chain and into the chain on the top and the back. Just slip stitch right there and you'll have them together. Or if you're doing just one, see, you could just have just one, that would be fine. But I like the cushiness of the two together. So now, once you slip stitch, you chain 5. And you want to pull up a big loop, because while you're working it's liable to pull out on you, and then you'll be stuck with none. No loops. It'll go all the way back to where you started. Okay, I'm just getting enough yarn out here because we're going to be crossing over quite a bit. Alright, so we'll leave that one, and we'll want to go into the next loops, just like that. See, just that one and then that one. We'll take the white, we'll leave us a tail, and we'll pull up a loop, and we will chain 5 here, and pull out your loop. Don't have to be that long, but long enough. Then pull that loop back tight again, and we're going to go into the next 2 loops. So there's the next one on the top, and there's the next one on the bottom. We're going to slip stitch and chain 5. Pull out your loop, lay it down, get your white. Let's see, before I do that, we want to lay this down behind the white. And the yarn, you know, you're switching it back and forth, so it can get a little tangled up. I'm going to cut that, stop that before it starts. Okay. All right. Now, got the yarn untangled, and we'll go into the next loop, which is right there and right there. Slip stitch, chain 5, drop that one, pick up the red, and leave the white behind. Now we're going to go into the next stitch, because that's the one we were in. We're going to go to the next one, and then find the next one on the back, slip stitch, chain 5. Okay, we're pulling that back, and we need to pull the white around to the front. So I'm going to take my yarn and pull it around to the front. All right, lost a loop, it looks like. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2 loops. All right. This is real, guys. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. So now we're going to go into the next loop, which is right here. And then the next loop in the back, pull up a loop, and there you have it. Slip stitch. Now chain 5. Put the white in the back. And now make sure the white's in behind your work. We're going to slip stitch into the next stitch. Chain 5. Pull up that loop. There's our loop for the white. Keep the red behind. Now we're going to find the next stitch on both sides and slip stitch. All right, slip stitch. It really isn't this hard, guys. My fingers aren't working properly. There we go. All right. See how that's lurking? Of course that will be gone, but there you go. It's pretty interesting. Love it. Okay, now chain 5. Pull up a loop. Now you've got your red. You're just going to keep switching back and forth. But keep the white behind. Slip stitch, chain 5. Pull up your little loop. Look for your white. Find your next stitch that you're going to slip stitch into. Slip stitch, chain 5. Up your little loop. Find the red. It's a little fiddly, but it's worth it. Slip stitch in the next stitch, chain 5. Pull up your loop. Now find your white. Keep the red behind. You always keep the other one behind. Slip stitch, chain 5. Pull up your loop. Now find the red. Almost lost my loop there. It happens. All right, another slip stitch. chain 5, drop that one, pick up your white, pull that through, find the next stitch, pull it through, slip stitch, chain 5. Just see how that's working out, and we'll just keep going around doing that. I'll meet you back at the beginning. Alright, we're back to the beginning, and we're on our last couple of stitches. So we've got 5 red and 5 white single crochets, and we're gonna finish off right here, and we're going to need to do one more of these. So you'll want to put 5 single crochets on your white, and you'll take your red. What we're going to do is go into the same spot, and we're going to slip stitch and that's going to be the last of that one, so I'm just going to leave that. Now we're going to take the white and we're going to go into this stitch, pull back the red so you don't get that one, and we're going to slip stitch there. Alright, now we're going to fasten off. Fasten off the white and fasten off the red. Get it through the right spot. There we go. Okay, now we can pull it through. All right, now move our yarn out of the way. We're going to pull these yarns. They're both fronts, so really doesn't matter. Take it to the back. There we go. And I'm going to go ahead and tie the white just in a little knot like that. And hide these ends. You don't have to tie, but I like to tie. Get it under that one. There we go. Wasn't quite done with that. I'm going to go down inside. Don't want to catch the other side though. Just got, oh, of course that happened. Okay, let's try this one. All right. All right, got that one. Cut that off and it'll stay inside there. This one I'm going to do the same thing. Find a good spot. There we go. Here we go. All right, one more end to hide. This one's going to be a little easier since we had red on the last row. Back the other way. I'm just going to go down inside. Catch myself in there. All right. Cut that. All right, and there you are. A fancy peppermint. Now I have two fancy peppermints. All right. Looks good. Now, I will have the pattern linked in the description below, but I want to show you another peppermint, and this pattern is from Premiere, and I'll have that linked in the description below as well. It's a simpler pattern. You just work in rounds, and then you put two of them together just like did on this one. So I'll have that one done too. I did do this one in cream instead of white, but you can do it in white. I didn't have any cream at the time. I did this one, but you can do it in any color you want. So there you go. Nice coaster. And here's a beautiful coaster as well. Fancy. I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. It was a lot of fun, and the border's a little fidgety, but it's well worth the effort. And I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you have a happy week ahead. See you next time. Bye-bye.